In your book, Who We Are, you talk about the core beliefs, the things that kind of define our Canadianness. Could you give us in a nutshell what those are?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to give them all away because hopefully your viewers are going to run out and click
Lure
on
us in.
Amazon.ca and order a copy.
Shameless plug.
But there are, you know, again, some core beliefs. And I think that's been one of the challenges of Canada because we didn't have a revolution, because we don't have a Bill of Rights, a Declaration of Independence. There's the sense that there is no bedrock, no terra firma in terms of the practical principles upon which our identity rests. But as I argue in the book, if you go back into the 19th century, before Confederation, really into the age of the rebellions of 1837, 1838, when we had our little mini revolution, and when we figured out how we were going to be self-governing through this now somewhat kind of unknown idea of responsible government, we figured out that, you know, we were a more egalitarian society. We would stress equality, not at that point between women and men or Aboriginals and non-Aboriginals, but as a society we were far more democratic in the first half of the 19th century than really anywhere in Europe, including Britain. So there's a strong egalitarian impulse, strong nation-building impulse. We were sensed that as a people we had to express ourselves through great public works. So whether it was the canal systems, the telegraphs, later the railroads, we're a country that's embraced national projects. And I think right through the 19th century up until the immediate post-war period, that was really a fundamental piece of what it meant to be Canadian.
Where do you think that came from?
Well, I think it came from the, you know, the sense that we are a nation, if not defined by history, defined by geography. And, you know, part of the reason we chose the name Dominion Institute for the organization I created was that it spoke to that sense that, you know, we will have dominion from sea to sea, that there was this existential kind of quest to bind this country together, to gird it in, you know, ribbons of steel, in all of these different national projects, because that was a way of uniting a people, a nation, a way of defining an identity. That seems to be something we've really lost in our political culture in the last number of decades. You know, national projects are now talked about as a kind of federal imposition, you know, something we should be scared about because it's big bad old Ottawa, you know, flexing its muscle and doing things that it doesn't know how to do. I think it's a very short-sighted understanding of just how important national projects are to a country that, again, didn't have a revolution, thankfully didn't have a civil war, didn't have a lot of those traditional events that often distilled for peoples of other nations that concrete sense of who they were.